Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 10, presented by GeoMart, powered by Reva University and Greenply.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Delhi police claims there is a foreign funding angle that must be investigated in the case of Mohammed Zubair. Alt News denies this. But this certainly opens up a huge can of worms. Across the country, there have been very serious questions asked in recent months and years about where the money comes to run these so-called digital news media organizations. Who's funding them? Where is the philanthropy coming from? Where is the equity investment coming from? What percentage shareholding do foreigners have? Are there other shell companies which are being used as fronts? Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the digital media in India to come clean on financial transactions and their funding patterns. Here's the story and then we debate.
The so-called fact-checker Mohammed Zubair has been sent to judicial custody for 14 days by Sitapur court. The Delhi police claims his company had received donations from Pakistan, Syria and other Gulf countries. Alt News has put out this statement in response. But Zubair has allegedly been evasive in his responses.
The arrest was made on the basis of the investigation which we had undertaken. There was a tweet which was tagged to us, and after taking the cognizance of the matter and the legal ramification of that matter, a case under section 153A and 295A was registered. Yesterday he was served a notice in this case. He was made to join the investigation. He was evasive on the answers.
The police has now added 3 new provisions, including the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act 2010.
295A और 67 IT ये दो में इनका रिमांड लिया गया था, लेकिन आज पुलिस ने 153A धारा बढ़ा दी है IPC की, तो उसमें भी अनुमति ली, तो वो भी करेक्शन हो गया उसका, और एक एप्लीकेशन और दी इनको रिमांड पे लेने के लिए.
Delhi police basically suspects that this is a clear-cut case of FCRA violation, where they were receiving money from multiple countries. In fact, Delhi police has made this massive allegation before the court that they were receiving money from multiple Middle Eastern countries, and clearly they did not have the permission to do so.
The Ministry of External Affairs has now said this.
There is a judicial process underway in this case. And I don't think it would be appropriate for me or anyone else to comment on a case that is sub judice.
It is time to decipher who is the end beneficiary if there is foreign funding. Make all digital media finances transparent. Let's debate.
Now, all those folk who are doing press conferences saying, you know, it's terrible, should ask themselves, those who ask for transparency from everyone else, when it comes to asking them to be a little transparent, then they get all very queasy about it. I don't know why. They do articles on everybody's funding. If anybody asks them about their funding, then they'd say, no, it's a very communal thing to do. I don't know why. Why? Can anyone tell me? Asif Sohail, Shahid Ali, Zeba Yasmin, Atikur Rahman, anyone? Tell me. The question is, who is funding? Who funds these organizations? Who funds all these digital organizations? I'm not saying all, but quite a few of them. Why is that an illegitimate question to ask? Anyone? Yes, Atikur?
May I, Arnab?
Yeah, please go on.
Let me answer you, Arnab.
Thank you. So why only the digital platforms, may I ask you?
The man who chased the facts.
There is a case pending in the Supreme Court related to the electoral bonds. The Supreme Court pointed out and having, some doubts about the electoral bond thing. Why is that pending since so many months and years? Besides, all digital platforms and all media channels, why not, a white paper on them?
Yes.
From where the funds are coming?
Yeah, so that's great. Good point you raised. Okay, so good point you raised. No, 1 minute. Just a bit. Joydeep, who's the associate editor of Swaraj, Nirva Mehta, editor of Op India, and Karan is the author and political analyst, and Aarti Tikku Singh is founder and editor of The New Indian. They're all there on the other side. I think Jaideep wanted to respond first. I've set the tone of the debate. Jaideep.
It's perfectly legitimate to question the funding of any media, digital news media. Let's not digress and say, what about electoral bonds and all that? The topic of discussion is the digital media and how they are being funded. And I think it's a very, very relevant question to ask. I think the digital media, like all media, has a responsibility to be completely transparent on this, and it should be open. The book should be open for scrutiny to everyone. I mean, why should the digital media or the media or Zubair, for instance, be treated as a holy cow? Everyone should be open to scrutiny, and if I have done anything wrong, I should be punished. If I have not done anything wrong, obviously I won't be punished. It's as simple as that.
As simple as that. And the further question to that is, if you get a single rupee from Pakistan, you can't take a single rupee from Pakistan without government approval. And Pakistani money cannot come into defense, space, atomic energy sectors prohibited for foreign investment. If you invest in any other area, including media, you have to get it through the government route. 1 rupee also.
Absolutely.
1 rupee also.
Arnab,
1 rupee also. Asif.
When the funds are coming from Pakistan, why the government are showing the blind eye when the funds are coming from the Pakistan? On the Zubair case is clearly political vendetta and to settle the political scores. He is once a fact checker now. The lies are behind him. उसको सीधा फंसाया जा रहा है. उनके गेटवे पे clearly बताया जा रहा है कि there is no transaction of a Pakistani fund and no international funds been allowed on their side. So when the funds comes to the national bank, let me finish it out. The bank frees the account. That's a clear indication. If the funds have came from the Pakistan, the accounts have been freezed. Then why the government is sitting quiet till now? तो ये समझिए 4 साल पुराना केस लेकर एक political vendetta to settle the scores, they are doing it.
Okay, Jaideep is responding. Jaideep is responding. I'll come in with my Jaideep. Asif, 1 minute. Jaideep, let's move fast.
If Zubair is a fact checker, let everyone check the facts that he lays out. Let everyone check. He should be open to others fact checking also, no? Why should only he be the fact checker? Let others fact check for him also. Let's see what he has.
Why the government has showed a blind eye all these years?
No, they're not. Just 1 minute. They're not throwing a blind eye. That's why they are saying that. That's why the Delhi police is saying. Asif, 1 minute. Asif, I don't want to speak over you. Delhi police is saying that. 1 minute. Asif, listen to me. Asif, listen. Delhi police is saying that Zubair has violated Section 35 of the FCRA, which means whoever takes any currency from a foreign source in contravention to any provision of this act. Now, Delhi police is claiming that their CDR analysis is showing that lakhs of rupees were sent to the organization from mobile phones of foreign countries like Pakistan, UAE, Syria and others. My question is, why is an Indian fact checker getting any donations with any links to Pakistan, UAE, Syria and others? Does he have the authority to do that? What he is doing may be politically convenient to you, Asif. But does he have the authority to do that? Does he have the authority to do that? Does he have the authority to do that? Nirva is on the debate. Now we're opening it up. Now I'll get Nirva in, I'll get Aarti in, I'll get Karan in. Let's open the debate, please. Yes. 3 versus 3 on the debate. 1 minute. Aarti. Aarti, you can go first.
Well, Arnab, the fact is that this whole business of fact-checking seems to be a big scam. Because honestly, I don't understand where did these people come from? Whether it's Pratik Sinha or whether it is Zubair Ahmed, where did these people come from out of the blue? They became fact checkers, and suddenly fact checking became a business. Well, we are the professional fact checkers. You know, we went through proper channels, we became journalists, we were taught fact checking, we were taught cross verification and everything. But these people created a new enterprise, violating all norms and regulations, as we can see now that Delhi police has revealed that they've been taking funding from hostile adversary countries like Pakistan.
Such a straight face?
Now, second, please. My second point is, if you look at the kind of work they have been doing, from creating fake pages called unofficial Sususwami, Humans of Hindutva, all kinds of rubbish pages where they did day and night, all they did was communal polarization.
That's the
they
whole
were
point.
backing, they
Since
were
they are showing you the mirror,
they were
it's very
backing
much
communal
undigestible
separatism.
to you.
Please keep your
Arnab, we
lectures to
appreciate your
yourself.
work.
Please keep your lectures to yourself.
Of the incumbent
Please
government.
keep your lectures to yourself.
That's the difference.
Please keep your lectures. Please keep your lectures to
That's
yourself.
the difference, Chiku.
Now, second,
That's the
you have
difference.
no idea.
So come
You
clean
have
now.
no
We
idea
are
about
talking of
professional journalism.
transparency.
You have
Who will
zero
check your
understanding.
accounts?
You have
Who will
zero
check your
understanding about
accounts?
fact checking.
Since you told
Do
the line
you
of
do
the
you even
government,
understand what
nobody
they've been
will
doing?
check your accounts.
They have been sowing the
That's the matter
seeds
of
of
fact.
communal hatred and bigotry in this country for last so many years, without any restraint, without anyone checking on them, without any questioning and accountability.
Fabricated
They are the
arguments,
ones. They
false
they have been peddling hate
Check your
one.
arguments.
day after day,
They
and
won't-
these people, I mean,
Just wait.
honestly,
Yeah.
we need to know. We
Okay.
need to know
Okay, here's a-
where did this funding come from?
No, here's a
How
question.
the hell
Here-
were
here's
these
a
people
question, Aarti.
given
Aarti,
the status?
Where you are getting all the funds.
Aarti, just a minute, please. Just a minute, so we can come down. Aarti, you run a media organization. We have all worked in media organizations. I run a media organization, and let me tell you, there are rules. We are being told we will have to live in a world without rules. There are rules. For example, I run a network, right? We employ over 1,100 people in our network. We have to make sure absolutely that we comply with rules. There are rules up to how much foreign investment you can take, right? Of course, Republic has no foreign investment, but there is a cap of 26%. You have to give disclosure of who are the beneficiaries of your business. You cannot take a front entity. If you're putting an entity as an investor in your business, you have to give who are the owners of that entity. And all of these checks are to make sure that Indian media remains essentially Indian. Now, what can happen here is very interesting, Karan. We can create a business model whereby you put in money to these quote-unquote digital organizations. The digital organizations say we will pass critiques on the rest of the people in the media. And hence, by investing a relatively small amount of money in a quote-unquote, organization that looks into media rather than looks into the journalism per se, you want to exercise control over the Indian media itself, while not accepting any of the rules and finding every single way to bypass the rules. And I think there need to be controls of foreign investment in digital news organizations directly or indirectly. Now, I was told, Karan, I was told, Karan, that a particular Iranian American is making investments in Indian digital media organizations. Now, why is a American of Iranian descent suddenly getting so interested in putting investments in Indian digital news media organizations? What is the valuation? And if a valuation is being put, the same person, when he invests in a corporate entity in America, will seek full reports of revenue, loss, profits, etc. But when that person is investing in Indian news media organizations, he doesn't give a damn about whether there is anything even called like a balance sheet. And I've been saying, on what basis are these organizations investing? On what commercial basis are these organizations investing in Indian digital news media organizations? And if there is no commercial basis, which means there must be some other interest. There is nothing called a free lunch. You know, the people who are greedy in Indian media will take money from anywhere, but there is nothing called a free lunch. Why is that American of Iranian descent investing millions in digital news media organizations in India? No, 1 minute. Why is it a non-commercial investment? Why is philanthropy being done? Is it because of love for India? Why are Chinese investing in so-called digital news media organizations in our country? Do the journalists who take this money have no shame or accountability to the people of India? Karan is on the debate. Let's open it up.
Arnab, right now, as we speak, Brinda Grover, their lawyer, Mohammed Zubair's lawyer, has thrown their media organization under the bus. She has clearly said that Alt News accepted donations, not Mohammed Zubair. And Prateek Sinha, the other founder, is blaming Mohammed Zubair. So they are ready to eat each other alive right now. So they are badly caught in knots. Number one. Number two, the larger point which you raised, Arnab, right now as we speak, the ED has attached 67 lakh fixed deposits of PFI, which has received foreign funding. Foreign funding for radicalization. It is a part of the Burn India group, Arnab, that you have coined. They are trying to enter every part of the ecosystem, whether it is social organizations, and they fashion themselves, whether it's as a social organization, in case of Jamaat-e-Ulema-e-Hind, or a PFI, which is a political phase, and they fashion themselves quite fashionably that we are a social organization. We are fact checkers in case of Alt News. The truth is they want to enter every single institution of our ecosystem, and this is a malaise, this is a termite which we need to look at and address very seriously. It is a far more serious issue than many of us are thinking.
I think a bigger issue, the bigger issue is this, and since I run a moderately large-sized news organization, I'll add my perspective on this. There is an attempt at avoiding the equity route. If you want to have ownership in India, in an Indian organization, there will be a cap. Now what happens is there are certain foreign interests who know there are rules they will have to follow. In fact, there was a 26% FDI cap for digital media specifically imposed to prevent digital media platforms which had raised substantial foreign investment or 100% foreign ownership. Now what they are doing is they are saying this is not equity, this is daan. Nirva, they are saying this is daan. We like you. It is support. It's not even subscription. It's emotional support. We like you. We like your views. Now I want to know, why does somebody in Syria, somebody answer this question, Nirva, why does somebody in Syria or Pakistan like someone's views doing journalism in India? Which is money not going through the equity route?
See, among other things, one thing is there that Alt News has been
it's a serious threat,
very regularly.
If they are doing it.
Regularly.
What is the law violated? Tell me.
If there is an.
So you want to beat around the law?
No, I tell you one thing. Okay, listen to me. Atik, I'll explain to you. You're saying where is the law violated?
We need to beat around the law.
Atik, suppose you want to start. I'll explain to you. I'll explain to you. Suppose, I'm not saying you. I'm sure you will not do anything criminal. But suppose you want to start a media organization. You want 100 rupees to start a media organization. Okay? Now you know the 100 rupees is coming to you from Syria. And you know you can't take the 100 rupees. So what and give the person shares in your company. So what you will do is you will say, give me the money as a donation. Now the question is, the government will ask, why is the donation being given? You want to know the number of Indian media organizations which are operating like this, you'll be shocked. You'll be absolutely shocked. Yes, Nirva.
See, among other things, Alt News has been regularly whitewashing and watering down the crimes of certain of Islamists a lot of times. For example, very recently, when the death threat had come out in Kashmir to all the Hindus there from some offshoot of a terrorist organization, Alt News team reached out to the terrorists and their spokespersons that they fact check a terror threat. that this is, this is a typo is there, and that is how they said that, no, this is a fake terror threat. This is the kind of fact checking they do. So I would not be very surprised if their funding also ends up being dubious. Obviously, it's for the authorities to investigate and come to conclusions. Someone here pointed out that their website puts up that they, since they do not have FCRA donation certificate, they cannot accept donation in foreign currency. They on their website till today morning when I last checked, they only have the Razorpay donation link. In February 2022, this year, Zubair had put out a tweet saying that their InstaMojo page is not accepting donations anymore. Till this morning, their InstaMojo page was active and accepting donations. InstaMojo page, so through Razorpay, you need FCRA certificate for the foreign currency transaction, which is very clear through their terms and conditions as well. InstaMojo, you can accept donations in any currency. They have multiple platforms through which you can accept donation. There is Google Pay, there is Paytm, Visa. So there are multiple. So over and above that, even if they did not accept foreign funding through these, platforms, there is no saying that they did not get it through, say, direct bank transfer or through SWIFT. There are so many ways to get it, right?
Point is,
there has to be investigation.
Point is, you see, Nirva, all these aspects will be looked into.
Doesn't mean that it didn't happen.
No, all these aspects will be looked into, and they'll be investigated, and they'll be debated in court. So, first of all, I'm saying here, let's be very clear, none of these allegations have been concluded, but they are being investigated. My point is, at this stage of the investigation, why is there an outcry, Jaideep? Why is there a need, Ziba and Jaideep, why have an outcry when the investigation has just started? And whether he needs to be in custody or not while the investigation is on is a matter which the courts will decide. It's not the investigating agency which decides. So, yes, please, Jaideep and then Ziba.
Every time someone like Zubair is arrested, taken into custody and questioned, the whole ecosystem kicks in. He's part of a very elaborate ecosystem, which we can call the Congress left liberal, so-called liberal ecosystem, which comes into play, which protects its own. And Zubair is very much part of that ecosystem. And that ecosystem, according to their rules, none of them can be touched. All of them are above the law of the country. They cannot be touched, they cannot be investigated, and nothing can happen to them. As for the others, anyone else can be investigated, anyone else can even be detained and jailed illegally, but none of them. That is the basic rule that these guys follow.
So the point here is, we have gone into serious questions, Ziba, of attempted masked ownership of Indian media organizations. And we know that recently there was a media organization accused of receiving about 38 crores from entities which may be associated with the Communist Party of China. It is. These are all not. Now you tell me, Ziba, do you think where the money comes from, and what, especially when the money is foreign money directly or indirectly, and the angle of these news organizations can be completely separated? I mean, if somebody, for example, directly or indirectly has taken money from people associated or who in turn are receiving money from George Soros, do you think that organization will not have to toe the line of George Soros? Yes, Ziba and Shahid?
You asked us that why people are having so much, you asked why people are having so much problem if Zubair is being questioned. See, nobody is having any problem in legal procedure. Whatever legal procedure is going on, it should go on. But yes, as Aarti ma'am said that these kind of fact checkers, let me tell you, whatever allegations have been put, none of them have been, proven yet. So let's not come to the conclusion, let's not jump into the conclusion. And if we talk about Zubair, even I have seen on many social media platforms, he used to appeal for the donations. because they started this channel from scratch and they asked for donations. And if there is any wrong means, then obviously some legal action should be taken. I am not saying, but yes, Arnab, I would appreciate if police and government be very transparent, and every channel, every journalist should be under the scanner. Why only people who are writing against government are under the scanner? Why only Zubair is writing against the scanner? Every journalist should be under the scanner.
Because he's a habitual offender. Ma'am, try and understand this. On his website he writes that we don't accept foreign funding. Yesterday in fact, Brinda Grover said that Zubair himself is innocent, but the organization accepts funds. And now Pratik Sinha is saying, Zubair accepts it personally. They are trying to pass the blame to each other.
Investigation, then obviously action should be taken.
Then why call it a witch hunt? You should welcome the investigation.
You are discussing something which is the role of... See, you are discussing the point which is in the hand of court. We cannot decide. Let the court decide. Let the police
investigate the matter. We are not deciding, but
what
we are
I
saying
want to say is that law and order should be same for everybody.
Is welcoming
it should be the same for everyone.
One anchor.
But foreign funding is a serious issue, and if you try to conceal that and you accept money from Pakistan or Syria, then we have to confront you.
Ethics of journalism, which doesn't exist in this scenario.
Okay, so you want...
of course, Zubair has been completely unethical.
Criticizing government, just tell me.
This whole alt news platform has been
Let's understand the seriousness of this issue, viewers. I don't know if I'm getting across to you, viewers, but I'm making a statement here tonight that those people who are asking for transparency about Indian news media organizations are the most non-transparent themselves. They take money from Soros-linked organizations. They take money from American capitalists with pronounced political views. They toe that line. They take money from the Chinese, and then they want to lecture us. That's the hilarious part of it, Karan. The ownership of Republic is in the public domain. Every transaction we put out is in the public domain. We pay advance corporate tax, advance taxes every quarter. Last week I received a letter of appreciation for the taxes we paid as the organization, and I told our finance department that for us is a badge of honor. That's the transparency which they have. Now I ask, what is the transparency of these organizations? What is the transparency of these organizations and these so-called editorial shops that they have put up? Yes, please.
Arnab, one small point. Karma is a boomerang. This Mohammad Zubair was casting aspersions on you, on your channel. And today your channel is receiving a badge of honor, and Mohammad Zubair is being caught today for concealing his foreign funding. Can you imagine? This is what karma is. We're seeing it right before our eyes.
Your question here is, in that case, I don't know if it's true, but then Zubair would be in the proud company of Parambir and Sachin Waze. But that's not the question.
Absolutely.
The question is larger. The question is larger. These so-called media portals, which constantly have an anti-India narrative, Aarti, I am saying it cannot be accidental that they have an anti-India narrative. What Zubair is, where he's got his money, where from, who funded, that we'll know later. But there are larger issues which have emerged as a result of this. Yes, Aarti.
Yeah, Arnab, you remember Pratik Sinha has been on record calling terrorists like Zakir Musa and Burhan Wani as freedom fighters, as rebels, as, the champions of freedom in Kashmir. The terrorists who killed innocent civilians, whether it were Kashmiri Muslims or Kashmiri Hindus, they call them freedom fighters. That is the agenda of alt news. Alt news has been continually going after every nationalistic voice. They have been continually going after every patriotic Indian journalist. They have written absurd, whimsical pieces with no substance at all against journalists who work for their organizations and for this country. So these people have absolutely no ethics, no professionalism, and that's why I say their fact checking was a big scam. It will come to the light that this entire platform was in violation of rules and laws of India.
Now about Zubair, I'd say put a caveat, we'll find out whatever it is. But I'm asking you, journalists are supposed to apply their mind on everything. Question is, a few years back, I was told that a so-called left-wing American capitalist oxymoron by itself came to India and said, I want to invest in Indian digital media, and everybody went to attend the party. A lot of people took the money. Not one of them, Jaideep, asked this American capitalist that when you invest in any other company, whether it's making soap or computers, you do a valuation, you do a financial check, you look for an exit, you look for the return, you look for return on investment. When you are investing in Indian quote-unquote digital organizations which will give you no return on investment, why are you investing? This question is not asked. The journalists out there go begging and they are so grateful for the money. They don't even ask this question. And now that these questions are emerging as a result of the questions over Zubair, but are these questions not meant to be asked by journalists themselves?
Yes, of course. But the money that, say, Soros or the other organization pays, which for China pays, I know that, Arnab, let me tell you, a few months ago, a small portal, digital news portal, has been under the investigation of the agencies for accepting funds from China. And what they have been doing, which can be directly linked, is they were against big dams in Arunachal. They kept writing series of articles against big dams and developments and the construction of border roads in Arunachal. Now, can we link the two? That China funding and then this portal, and they are questioning why should India build border roads in Arunachal Pradesh. So there is an obvious link out here. You see, it's not rocket science. So these guys they fund.
So there's no free lunch. There's no free lunch. There's a quid pro
Absolutely
quo.
not.
There's an unwritten quid pro quo.
Absolutely.
And then these are the people who write long articles and theses and PhD doctoral theses on why corporate ownership is bad. Such hypocrites.
Of course.
Such hypocrites, Karan. This is just unbelievable. And when we say these things, people will be stunned today. This debate does not happen in the Indian media.
Articles should not be written.
No, should not be written is not a point.
Journalism.
They want to control the narrative. What did Mohammed Zubair do? He tried to incite hatred when the Nupur episode happened. All he wanted to do was burn India up in flames.
India should be in the headlines. The press should not be there. The journalistic sense should be caged. They should be behind bars.
So please,
no articles.
I think
they want to exploit the fault lines.
If I would, Atik, this goes to Shahid Ali.
I mean, how should you talk about double standards on a national channel, man? If you're talking about somebody should be behind the bars, then everybody who's writing bad should
it's
be
not
behind
about
the
writing.
bars.
No. 1 minute. Let's be clear. He's not.
Why only Zubair?
No.
Why only Zubair?
No. The FCRA cases are not about writing.
Behind the bars.
The FCRA cases are not about writing.
We're talking about FCRA, ma'am.
Arnab, whosoever violates law should be dealt with as per law. There is no doubt to that. Section 35 of FCRA provides punishment if one receives any payment violating the law. But recently, I would like to bring to kind notice of yourself as well as to the viewers what government of India has done. Recently on 1st of July, government of India has made certain violations of FCRA compoundable. Now the question arises, why Zubair has been targeted at this point of time? The timing of this case speaks in volume about the Malays, about the Malafites. So if you put together all these things, Zubair is not like a person that he was not in India or he was not available to the police. What the police was doing till now, what the investigative agencies were doing till now. Now, when he has said something, or when he has when
Shahid,
he has brought to the
Shahid,
notice
Shahid,
about the fact
it's a question.
with regard to Nuru,
Just one
what is her
minute.
name?
You tell me.
I don't know.
You tell me, Shahid. You tell me.
Who has not been arrested by the
Tell
police,
me here.
therefore all of a sudden
No.
everything is coming.
Shahid, can I ask you something? Shahid, listen. Now you took a position on CA. You took a position because of your own views. I disagreed with you. We fought on television, but it was your own views. But tomorrow, if it is proven that 2 or 3 months in the months before CA happened, you accepted an amount of money from Pakistan or Syria, then is it not logical for any investigating agency to ask you that, Mr. Shahid Ali, is there a link between where you're getting the money and your political views?
I opened my mouth from these words only. That investigation of these things should be welcome.
So that's the point. Then why complain? Where is this big complaint going on about Zubair then?
And if the law is being violated, then the investigation should be carried out. I am questioning the timing.
So why the hue and cry in this case?
And I am also not.
What's the hue and cry in this case about?
I am also questioning the act by virtue of which certain violations have been made.
Yes, but what's the hue and cry then about? You agree with me?
Intention of the government.
What's the hue and cry? Asif is nobody's being able to explain here.
Intention is the argument.
It should be an investigation.
One view is what one writes. The other thing is the financial entities that support the individual. Asif. Yes, Asif.
If he has violated, there is a course of law. There is an income tax department, but it should be an investigation, not the political vendetta.
That's it. So where's the vendetta here?
It should be a proper investigation.
What's the vendetta here?
It should not there to settle the scores. It should not there to settle the political scores. What they are doing is settling the political score because he has went against the facts what he has shown to the nation. That's what. If he has done any violation, let him face the law.
So let him face the law.
Let him face the law.
But that is he's facing the law.
You see, the evidence will have to be presented before the court. If the court believes there's no case, then he'll get bail, he'll be out. But the court feels there's a case, That's it. Let's follow the law there. Ladies and gentlemen, there are serious questions, and I truly believe, I believe every single digital news organization in this country that has taken money from any capitalists abroad without being able to justify it in terms of valuation or equity should make a public disclosure and apologize to the people of this country. These questions will be asked of them. They will be made answerable. They should be made answerable. And viewers, latest trend, bounty after bounty is being announced to behead people.